Welcome back to Ithaca BJJ. Have you ever been frustrated by someone posturing up and stalling inside of your guard? Well, viewer Ka Ra Te, we see what you did there, asked a great question. My biggest problem in bottom close guard is when someone postures really hard and has good arm and hand defense, making the match really stall hard. What do you recommend when it's white belt stalling in close guard? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Let's get started. So let's start with the basics. First, you want your hips off the ground and high up on your opponent's thighs. This closes the gap here. Before focusing on breaking posture, first establish a solid position, as Professor Matt does here. Also notice how he climbs John's back with his legs. The hips are off the ground, the gap is closed, and also notice the strong foot position. So we see the same thing here as he works with Brian. He's pulling with his arms, but he's also climbing with his legs. That's the key to breaking posture. Now in contrast, notice my poor hip placement here. My hips are on the ground. This allows John the freedom, and he's easily able to stand up as he prepares to pass my guard. Now a good opponent won't just let you do all of this. He'll respond like John's does here, by pressing down to stop your advance. But here's a simple solution. You want to sweep your hands under his to break him down. From here, we can begin our attack. Now, even though I failed with my hip placement here, I am still able to control John because of my leg placement high on his back. Again, using the legs is key. I also have control of that wrist and his back. I do the same thing here with Kevin. Notice how I pull on the lapels while climbing his back with my legs. It's not enough to just pull with your arms. A great way to practice is to do what I'm doing here. Allow your opponent to posture up and just keep breaking him down. I often do this exercise while in live rolls. Look how high my legs are on Kevin's back. He breaks away. Now watch. I grab him again, and I pull with my legs and climb his back as I yank him down from his lapels. Now some opponents will do this, they'll shift their knee on your butt so that they can get this leg open. But there's a simple solution to that. As he shifts his knee to the center, you simply shift in the same direction. As he moves that way, you move your hips that way to get his knee off center. Now, he'll often go back and forth. You need to go back and forth with him, which will eventually get him off center and create a sweeping opportunity. There it is. Now, sometimes your legs will open despite your best efforts. But there's a simple solution to that problem also. What your opponent wants to do is to push that leg down and climb over that knee. All you need to do is to stiffen your leg and rotate your hips in the opposite direction. Often they'll just shift to the other side, and you just keep shifting with them. This is also another great exercise to work on while in your live rolls. Now let's talk about the top position here, because you're going to be here too, and you need to know what to do when you are. Good posture is not quite what you think it is. It's not about sitting up straight or having a nice arch in your back. What good posture really means is you need to sit back on your hips, have your knee forward, and most importantly, you want to have a slight roundness to your back instead of a completely straight back or an arch. Now, when your opponent goes to break your grips, you don't want to be too stiff. You want to maintain some looseness here. And he's going to go back and forth. As he goes back and forth breaking grips, you remain loose and simply establish your own grips on the other side. If he goes to elevate you or to pull you forward, you come up slightly off of your heels while maintaining that round back. As Professor Matt illustrates here, you're going to come up slightly, but maintain that round back to keep a strong base. Now some folks will come up for a kimura like this. This is what you want to do. Sit straight up and push on their hips. Now what's common is, and this is especially true for stronger guys, is they'll just wrap up the opponent and try to push them back down. The problem with this is it opens them up for a sweep. And again, what's important here, as John goes to break Professor Matt's grip, Professor Matt is keeping his arms somewhat loose. If you make your arms too stiff, your opponent can use it as a lever to break your posture and to gain maximum control over you. We see this here again with me and John. So remember, we're going to keep that hand rather loose. And then this is where the game starts. He breaks the grip, you reestablish, he breaks the grip, he reestablishes. This is the battle. But folks, this is a battle that you can win if you practice the concepts we discussed in this video. Remember, the most important elements to breaking posture is using your feet and your legs to break them down. Thanks again for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.